Hi guys, it's me Lindsay, the one and only Mexican in Utah, and today I am filming a YouTube video. So I'm going to start YouTube, probably making YouTube videos a lot now because I need a hobby and I like doing these, so that'll be fun for me. So as most of you may know, maybe some don't, but I got married a few months ago and his name is Orson Wilkins and I love him so much. Introduce yourself. So this is my husband Orson. I love him. We're not doing that. So I just kind of want to make like a little series on this channel about me and Orson, about how we met and whatnot, and just stuff in our life of why we got married so young. So when we got married, look at the camera. So when we got married, I was 20 and I'm 20 right now. I had turned 20 like 2 weeks before the wedding. Orson was 20, he's 21 now. He just turned 21 a few weeks ago. But when we got engaged, I was 19, he was only 20. So we got married pretty young and pretty fast, and we just kind of want to share our story about different things. So this first video is gonna be just how we met. So we happened to go to the same church, but we just said it was my fault. I didn't really socialize and put myself out there. So we went to what's called a singles ward. It was for ages 18 to like 30 or something, of people who aren't married, just so they can like mingle, meet people in a good environment like church. And me and Orson were in the same singles ward. We just didn't know it, because where I was living at my parents' house and where Orson was living at his cousin's family friend's house were like 2 houses down from each other. So this is Orson's house, skip a house. Oh wait.
No, it wasn't like that.
It was down the street.
You're one street, so like it was this street and then down one street and you were on that street.
Yeah, so we were streets apart. We were in the same neighborhood.
But I could look out my window and see your house.
Yes. Which is so weird that we like never ran into each other.
It's really weird, because I would like go outside running or riding my little skateboard and you never went outside.
No, I didn't. I was sleeping. So notice how I'm saying we never ran into each other, because we actually never did. We were set up by none other than my dad, my father. So there was a singles ward for ages 18 to 30 who were still single and not married. And then there was like a family ward for married folks with kids and elders, you know, people who aren't young and single, I guess. So Orson's cousin slash roommate, not really his cousin, his family friend, was giving a talk in the family ward, so which my family is in. And he decides to go and support him, so he went to that ward that day to see him speak, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, so I went, like you said, I went and listened to him speak, and at our church there's multiple meetings. So like there's what they call a sacrament meeting, where people give talks and we sing, and then we went to like our they broke up the ages basically. And I went to what they call elders quorum, which is like all the older guys, all the husbands and whatnot. And so when you go to one of those types of meetings, you have to introduce yourself. And when I introduced myself, I was like, hey, my name's Orson Wilkins. I'm here to support, his name is Bud Pope, the one giving the talk. I'm here to support Bud and with him giving the talk. And really, I'm just in the singles ward for this area. And so we went through that whole meeting, listened to a lesson, and then after, her dad came up to me and was basically asking, so you're in the singles ward for this area? And I'm like, yeah. And he says, I have a daughter that is in that singles ward too, and normally she goes with her cousin, but her cousin is switching wards and really doesn't have anyone to go to.
Go with. Go to church with.
Yeah, because she would go with her cousin. But now that he's switching wards, she can't do that. And I guess she didn't go to church that day because she was like, I don't want to go to church. It's dumb. I don't have anyone to go with.
I didn't say I didn't want to go to church. That's dumb.
Okay,
I don't have anyone to go with.
Okay, you're right.
I was just like, it was literally just one of those times where I just wasn't feeling it, so I just didn't go that week. My dad was making a bigger deal about me not going to church that day than it was.
Yeah, that's true. But basically, he made it sound like she didn't have many friends, and I should help her make some friends in the ward so she has more people to go with and she feels more comfortable. So basically, I was like, yeah, like here's my number, give it to her. He gave me her number. That's right. He gave me her number, and I was like.
And he shows a picture of me to him.
Yeah, like it was literally like literally 1 second. Like, oh yeah, she's cute.
Didn't even ponder.
I couldn't like look very hard at it at all. Maybe he was like, what if she's really not that cute? And he doesn't.
Yeah, because
like,
that was not I know what photo he used to show of what I looked like, and it was a bad photo from like 2 years. I mean, I look the same from 2 years ago, but it was just not a good picture. Anyway, so I think you should pause right here and say how you felt that this strange man came up to you and said, hey, I have a daughter, here's her photo, let me give you her number, hit her up.
So...
Like, honestly, how did you feel?
Honestly, though, there was, like, I was, in the back of my head, I was always thinking, oh, like, what if I meet my wife today? Or what if I meet, like, I would honestly go to church for the off chance that I might meet my future wife at church.
Which is so cute, but I never thought that.
Yeah, so,
I'm just not that, like, the singles ward, I was just thinking this is just an environment that's just not for me. I just don't think that I will meet a potential anybody here, but that was just me.
I was thinking that too, but then I thought, well, what if my future wife is thinking that same thing, but she decides to go this day, so it's like, I probably better go just in case she decided to go that. So anyways, that's kind of what I was thinking. So when this guy came up to me and was like, hey, here's my daughter's number, and I was like, what if like this ends up being my wife, like low key, like just in the back of my head, just like very low key about it.
I hope it was low key.
And so,
because that was creepy.
It was creepy, I get it, but it was just always in the back of my head. I was always thinking that'd be funny if she ended up being my wife, and like
yeah, because that'd be a funny story.
Yes, and so that's how I was. I was like, I wasn't weirded out. I wasn't nervous.
That's good.
I wasn't like...
Because, so Sunday, they have devotionals at the college.
I'm getting to that.
Oh, go for it.
So he gives me a number and asks, when should I tell her you're going to call her? And I say, oh, there's actually a devotional tonight at the college, and someone's giving a talk, and I'll call her and invite her to that. And so I called her. And about 2 hours before it started.
You need to pause, because this is where my dad came home from church. He was like, Lindsay, so I saw this guy who was at the singles ward who came to the family ward today. He was really cute. I gave him your number. And this has not been the first time that my dad has done that. Mm-hmm. My dad has done that to 2 previous guys before, and they were weird. They didn't work out. So they weren't weird. They just didn't work out. So they were cute guys that my dad had like said, oh, like, that my dad has set me up with. They were cute, they were fine, but it just didn't work out. So I was just like, Dad, another guy, like, what's wrong with you? So when he called me, I was just like, all right, let's give this a shot. Hello, my name's Lindsay.
You were really thinking like that?
Yes, I was really thinking, Dad, another person.
It's funny to me.
Yeah, so I was just not in the mood that day. Like I said, I wasn't even feeling going to church. I just wasn't in the mood. So I didn't even get ready for the day because I didn't go to church. So I was like, frick, I have to get ready now. Like I'm going on a date tonight, basically. And I'm just like, not in the mood.
Yeah. But so when I called it about 2 hours before the event started. Maybe it was like an hour. It was a little bit late. That was my bad. But
yeah, because I was like, is this guy even gonna call me? Do I even need to get ready? Because I just don't get ready for the day if I don't have to. And so when he called me an hour before, I was like, dang it.
Yes, I know, that was my bad. But anyways, I called her and she sounded so annoyed. She was like, hello. Yeah, hi, my name's Lindsay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll be ready. Sounds good. Alright, bye. Click.
I feel so bad.
And I was in the back of my head, I was like, can I cancel?
You were thinking that. Imagine if you'd canceled.
Yeah, I was like,
That would have been so not good.
I
for
didn't
us.
really even want to go to the devotional anyway, but I told him that I was going to call you and invite you to this. I was like,
Yeah.
well, okay, now I guess I have to go to this devotional. And so I was like, man, I really don't want to, like, she doesn't sound like she wants to go anyway, so, like, what's the point of even trying this?
But you didn't cancel.
No,
I would have been
I
so mad if you canceled. Just because I would have started to get ready.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
But, so he comes to my house literally 10 minutes before, let's say it started at 6 o'clock. He came to my door at 5:50 and I was like, okay, there's no way we're gonna make, so I'm like, I'm very like a time person. Like I leave like 30 minutes before I have to go anywhere in a small town where literally everything is like 20 minutes away, but I was like, okay, there's no way that we're gonna make it on time. I would have left like 15 minutes ago. So I was a little bit stressed about time, but I opened the door and I was like, oh, this guy is really
You
cute.
didn't open the door, your mom opened
I opened the door and said hi, and then my mom was right behind me. I opened the door. I remember.
Okay.
I literally opened the door and he was wearing like a mustard shirt, like sweater, and like really cute pants. He was really stylish, like just.
I was wearing these pants.
You were?
Yeah, I think so.
He was just really that was my first impression of him, was wow, he knows how to dress himself. And even today, he really takes time and effort into his outfits, which
Well,
I
I take
don't.
better care of my skin than you do.
We're not talking about skin, we're talking about
I'm
outfits.
just saying, I
But
take
he
better-
still dresses himself better than I dress
I
myself.
take care of my.
Okay. So yeah, I opened the door and I was like, wow, he's really cute. So that was my first impression, was wow, super cute. What was your first impression of me?
As you
Not on
squeeze
the
my
phone.
finger, like, you better tell something good.
Not on the phone, because that wasn't a good one on the in person.
Yeah, so walking up, I was like, so honestly, before I even called you, I was nervous because like I never call anybody like, hey, let's go out on a, like, no, I'm not that outgoing. I'm outgoing, but like not that. Anyway, so like I was nervous, and walking up to the door, I was still a little bit like, okay, like I hope she's pretty, because then I might be able to actually consider her as being a candidate for a future wife.
Candidate for a future wife. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So when I opened the door, I will say I was pleasantly surprised. You looked very pretty in your mother's black dress.
Yep, I wore my mom's dress because my mom has cuter clothes than me.
Anyways, yeah, so she looked really cute, and then said hello to her mother because her mom was right behind her.
Yeah, my sisters were all at the door like, oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Yeah, I remember like someone was like in the living room further behind the door, and they're like,
So yeah, then we went to the devotional, we talked, it was great.
yeah, that devotional was kind of weird. I remember that.
We sat in the, because we were late, we sat in the very, very back. I don't even
With your
remember. Yeah, I don't even remember anything that he was saying.
I remember there was a few times that everyone laughed, and we kind of laughed and kind of like, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, the actual devotional, because we couldn't talk because someone was talking and we're supposed to be quiet. So the devotional part was weird. We got to know each other just by like the car ride because we lived so far away from everything, which was nice. We were like, I was like, yeah, I work at Subway, really ashamed. And he was like, well, I don't really have a job right now. So I was like, sweet. So he's not judging me of what I do because you're doing nothing.
I was doing something. I was trying to chase my dreams.
But you weren't doing anything.
Okay, anyways. Yeah, okay.
So, and then, so the devotion, let's say, was at 6. We get home probably like 7:30 or 8, let's just say. And then I was thinking he was just going to drop me off, but what did he do?
I kissed her. No,
No.
I did it. So we were driving back and pulling into our neighborhood, and my roommate, so his whole family was coming over for games, and they had like treats and dinner and whatnot, but we weren't gonna make dinner. But anyways, I invited her over to like play games, and
Yeah, he
stuff.
invited me to his house to play games with his roommate and his family. not his family, because his family lives in Arizona. I didn't meet his family until we were engaged. But anyway, that's a different video. So I was just, playing games and at this stranger's house. And I was like, these people are all really nice. And the games we played were fun. And it was a fun time that night. And then he dropped me off and we didn't kiss. I thought you were gonna kiss me, but you didn't. But it ended up being fine that you didn't, because we kissed the next day. Wink, wink.
Hey.
So that was kind of our first date, but mostly us just meeting each other. So I think the next video will probably be our real first date, which was the next day.
How did you feel about when we were driving home? What were you thinking?
About what?
Just when we were driving home, what were the feelings? Were you nervous? Were you comfortable?
I was nervous, but not really. Just because I said I'm not a social person, but just I've been on so many dates at this point with random strangers that I just met on dating apps. So I was not new to the game. So I was pretty comfortable just talking and about ourselves. I wasn't thinking anything of oh, this is gonna be a boyfriend of mine. I was not thinking that. I was not thinking that this would be what it would be.
Yeah.
That night. Were you thinking anything
beyond? So I think ultimately, because my head is constantly in the future with literally everything.
Not me.
And so I think in the back of my head I was thinking I was trying to picture situations to where we could be together long term.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately short term I wasn't necessarily oh yeah, this is for sure gonna happen. It was more what ifs.
Yeah.
But nothing.
So you weren't oh, this girl, she's gonna be my next girlfriend.
No.
You weren't? Oh, okay.
Because I was still thinking your dad wanted me to try to help you make friends.
Oh.
So I was still.
No, my dad was trying to marry me off.
Yeah, he hates you.
No.
Just kidding. He loves you.
Yes, he does. Okay. Anyway, so that was how we met. We met through my dad at church.
Yeah, but what? Hold on, I want to go back to the car ride home.
Why?
For a second, because I was surprised about how much she wanted to spill the tea about certain things.
Oh yeah, I literally didn't even care.
Yeah, you were telling me all this stuff about her cousin and his dating life. Hey Isaac, I'm sorry, but it's true. It happens.
So Isaac, he's married now, so he's moved on.
Yeah.
But Isaac, my cousin, who we sat next to at the devotional, he happened to be there with the girl who was dating, which at the time, I was just telling him tea between Isaac and his girlfriend at the time. I can't believe you remember that.
Because I was so shocked about you're telling me I don't even know your fan. Why are you telling? What the heck?
Oh, so did you think that was too much and weird?
It wasn't too I was pleasantly surprised because you just felt comfortable enough with me to share that kind of information.
Did you think that was so weird?
I didn't think it was so, but like I said earlier, it was nice that you felt comfortable enough to tell that with me.
Yeah, I did.
So
you were cool.
I felt like it was a natural conversation. It didn't feel...
It was never awkward between us, which is... Not really.
Hmm?
No, not at all.
Okay, not at all.
To me, it wasn't awkward. Maybe because I was the only one talking, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. No, I don't. Anyway, so yeah, that's how we met. Short story at church.
What?
Yeah, no, that's not the end. Are you kidding me?
I didn't dab.
No. So our next video will most likely be our first date and how that went, because that is a story.
Yeah, that is a story. Well, only it's more on your part, because I didn't really think anyway. We'll save it.
Yeah, we'll save it, but as when we first met, when we went to that devotional and he invited me to play games, I wasn't really thinking that as a date. So when he finally asked me to go on this date, basically, that's when I was really nervous and freaking out. Mm-hmm. So I will share all that with you guys, but yeah, that's the end of the video, and we will hopefully see you in the next one. Do 2 hands waves. Bye!
I could be driving to your place, but now the ground is shaking. Could be a phase, but it feels like it will never go away until we make up. I can't be myself, I never never knew how much I
Okay, let's
needed
check.
you.
How do you on your email?
Should've been you.